You can choose to manage everything else, but not your data. Get more out of life with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# today. Data is life.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Now, how I go betray their trust? Me, I no fit do that kind thing, no. I no make it be say I no go be honorable man, honest man again. I can't do it.
I agree with you. Okay? Just follow your mind, all right?
Thank you.
Do the right thing.
Tumba, let me do what you want to do.
Chidi, listen to your conscience.
Thank you. Otumba, I am listening to my conscience. And what my conscience is telling me is to go now and tell the others that I am not doing again.
Good.
Oh, yes.
Huh?
Yes! That's the right thing to do.
Wait, not too much. You don't want to do again.
I'm not doing again, Chidi.
You don't want to, you forgot that you are owing me. Now let me tell you something. All the money you are owing me, you are going to pay me everything. I am not liking of anything.
When the time comes, I'll pay you.
No, the time has come. Come and pay me now.
Let me tell them first. Nonsense.
Chidi, you want us to make you do something?
Don't mind you. Listen to Now I see that they have actually planned for a bargain of this man's deal. So you have an eye on it.
You do that kind of thing. First God say not do again. You want us to make it done.
No, he will soon say he's only happy for his friend now. I'm happy.
Of course, I'm very happy for him. I am very happy for him, but he will not get away with my money. Do you know how much I've invested in this good for nothing friend of mine?
I'm disappointed.
No, it's good for nothing friend of yours. Oh.
Hey,
Hi. What do you must do? You see, we got local government chairman. Wait till here, whether you like it or not. You wait.
By boss.
I need to go. Let me go and do my business.
Seki, I'll see you later. Yeah, Madina. Can I have my lunch now?
No, sir.
Please, let me have something to eat, Jerry.
Yeah. Come. Yeah, but take what is that?
Look, I'm getting impatient here.
See, I call you so that me and you will talk. I want us to do business together. I want to put money inside the film.
Seriously? That's interesting.
Let me tell you. You know why I choose to do business?
Why?
Because you get a big face. Sorry, you get a big face. You get a big face.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really pleased.
No. Don't worry.
That reminds me, you said I have epic face. What do you mean by epic face?
You don't want to get a meal in your house? Should we used to look at you in your house?
Yes,
Yeah, Modino, this attention is becoming too much.
anything soft, maybe you can tell again today.
Okay.
Thank you. She's a nice person.
Oh, she's a very nice person. Very nice person. So, as I was saying, give us space. We are talking business here. As I was saying, I brought you because I want us to do business together. I want us to transact business, do things together, make a lot of money together. I mean, when I say money, I mean better money. As a movie face. You understand what I'm talking about?
That's good. All right. You want to do a movie? If I may ask you, what kind of movie are you looking at?
Epic film, of course.
Epic film. Why do you choose epic film? What do you actually? How do you describe an epic film? If I ask you.
Which one? You don't know what is epic film? Is epic film not that one that man and woman used to go naked?
Naked? Oh. Is that what you classify as epic film?
Yeah, now that one that they will use small sackload to cover their private part. Is that not epic film?
Now I get it. Okay. But do you have a script for that? A script?
A script? What is it?
I mean screenplay. The story for that.
Oh! That one is supposed to be here. Let me check.
Auntie!
This is it.
Auntie! You can't say that. You don't make them. I won't pack it.
Okay, this is the idea.
Yeah.
But we still need a script. You need someone to write the script. To screenplay this, because we can't act it like this. Yes.
That is why you're here now.
Have you thought of getting a director that will direct this movie?
Am I supposed to be looking for a director when you're here? You tell me how we go about it and we'll get it done.
It's okay. What will happen? I think I need, let me get the drink first.
I can get you water. No, you are not supposed to take it this way.
Yes, I'm just looking at because of the sugar content.
Yes, sugar. I can get you another one. What do you want it to be?
Just look for something else. Let me just get me something else apart from this.
See, I will get you something soft and light.
Thank you.
I would have sent it to me go and get you food, but the food I beg on already.
Yeah, it's already here. It's nice. Okay, now you're talking about this movie something. You don't have a director first. Because you can't shoot a movie without having a director or screenplay it. It's not done. You understand? It's just like now you say you want to build a house. Building a house, you need an architect, you need a bricklayer, and you need an engineer. So in movie, you need a professional to do all these things.
We are still talking the same thing, Mr. Sam. So, you know, even people that used to build house, they used to learn it. If you learn, you go study. You understand? So the same thing goes to this one if you ask me.
That's what I'm saying, because you need to learn. You must bring in the professionals to do this job.
Yes. So with what you're saying now, like, how are we going to go about it? Would it cost additional money?
Yes, it's going to involve money, but we can't actually ascertain the amounts to be, it's going to cost, except we have a script for it. It matters a lot. Okay?
One more thing. This business now that we're talking about, how much will it cost? I need to come out of my capital. You understand? Let me know everything now is you have to plan it ahead. I'm a very good businessman. I plan ahead.
So like I told you before, we can't actually say this is the amount, except we screenplay it, have a script for it, then we can now decide how we go about it.
It's okay.
This is that.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy yourself.
So how much is everything?
No, never mind. This particular one is on me.
Do you not know that our enemies have no face? They are indigents of no state. They come from no place. And if this boat capsizes, every one of us will go under. So when the drums sound, let everybody answer. Do not say, I am the Iroko when the forest is burning. Do not say, I am the Obeche when the forest is burning. Our differences will not stop us from perishing together. So when the drums sound, let everybody answer.
The following guidelines for eased lockdown, as announced by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, are effective from 4th May 2020 in Abuja, Lagos, and Ogun states. For public spaces, the following are mandatory: improvised face masks, temperature checks, hand washing facilities and hand sanitizers, physical distance of at least 2 meters, no sporting activities and mass gathering. On travel, these are prohibited: passenger flights, interstate travel except essential services, movement of agro products and petroleum products. Note:
Hello Nigeria, I am Becky Madujemu. Welcome to Newsline. Nigeria is combating coronavirus by exploring all available options and ensuring that citizens are aware of what they need to do in order to stay safe. Tonight we move into villages to meet with rural folks. We are curious about the level of awareness in those areas, especially as news on the pandemic focus more on activities or inactivities of people in urban centers. The lockdown due to the outbreak has forced families to be together like never before. The women who are carrying out more domestic assignments will talk about how they are coping as the home managers. Then the myths about COVID-19. Some are outlandish, shocking, and lame. We owe it a duty to Nigerians to set the record straight in order to reduce the incidence of rising cases. And this we shall do on the program. Meanwhile, usage of specific words when talking about coronavirus is a trend. We have drawn up a list of the words and what they mean. For now, let's join Elizabeth Omori for tonight's news.
Hello, Becky. Nice to see you, and thanks for joining us on the news segment of the program. Thanks for joining us. As the initial period of the easing coronavirus lockdown draws to an end, President Muhammadu Buhari held a strategic meeting on the best way forward with the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. The chairman of the task force and secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, gave a hint that new measures and processes may be introduced in the reviewed fight against the oncoming health challenge. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
Keeping everything in perspective in the battle against the coronavirus pandemic, members of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 once again converged on the nation's seat of government. They are here to compare notes with President Muhammadu Buhari on Nigeria's response to the unseen enemy of mankind as the period for the ease in lockdown comes to an end on Monday. Discussions centered on the activities of the task force, effectiveness or otherwise of the measures introduced so far towards containing the pandemic, as well as available options for future engagement.
What proposals were brought today for consideration of Mr. President, looking at it holistically, it will put us in a better frame to deal with the future. Because we are in for a long haul. This is not a short distance race, it's a marathon, and we have to keep everything in perspective.
The Presidential Task Force remains worried that although a recent opinion poll shows majority of Nigerians being aware of coronavirus, their adherence to the rules of engagement in the fight against the disease leaves much to be desired.
What we intend to do now as a task force is to come down to the level of having the communities take ownership of the response. Let the communities acknowledge the fact that there's a COVID-19 that is deadly, that it can ravage their health and their world. And the most important thing for them to do is to begin to take personal responsibility on dealing with it. All of them should be overseers of their communities. They should watch out for people who have symptoms for testing and isolation. That way you plug them out of the community and you reduce the risk of further transmission.
During the meeting, President Muhammadu Buhari appreciated the task force and those in the front line for their commitment and patriotism in the onerous task of eliminating COVID-19 in Nigeria.
The President expressed his appreciation to all the agencies that have contributed to where we are today, that in spite of the difficulties and the fact that as a nation we lack the capable infrastructure, looking at what is happening to the developed world, where countries that have traditionally established health institutions with all the palliatives, with all the privileges, with all the schemes that guard its people have crumbled at the wreck of COVID-19. But we are still standing, doing our best in the circumstances to ensure that at least we provide the necessary directions.
Mr. Boss Mustafa says the PTF is yet to take delivery of the Madagascar cure for coronavirus, saying, however, that even after doing so, President Buhari's position that such herbal postulations be dealt with scientifically remains sacrosanct. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Still on COVID-19, amidst the ease of lockdown, the number of patients with COVID-19 who have recovered in Nigeria has doubled in the past week as Brazil overtakes Italy and Spain in the number of coronavirus cases in the world. Let's now join Joyce Ometu for a weekly review of the health crisis globally.
In the outskirts
gone week, the number of COVID-19 cases in Nigeria crossed the 5,000 threshold. A review of the daily reports of COVID-19 cases by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control shows that Nigeria recorded a total of 1,470 new cases in the past week. However, there are positive signs as the country continues to churn out remarkable numbers of recoveries. During the week, 727 new recoveries were documented as the total number of recovered COVID-19 patients in Nigeria surpassed 1,000. But 48 new deaths were recorded across the country last week as against the 43 reported in the previous week. So far, data compiled by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control as at 16th of May shows that Nigeria has a total number of 5,621 cases of COVID-19, 1,472 recoveries, and 176 fatalities. In Africa, the coronavirus pandemic has now spread to every country on the continent. Figures published by Johns Hopkins University as at 6 p.m. reveal 83,715 confirmed cases of the virus across the continent, 2,735 deaths and 32,348 recoveries. The latest figures show an increase of 21,042 new infections in 7 days. On the global scene, record by Worldometer as at 6 p.m. shows 4,753,024 infections, 313,872 deaths, and over 1.8 million recoveries. The total number of cases worldwide rose by 619,137 in the past week. Brazil now has the 4th highest coronavirus outbreak in the world, surpassing former epicenter Italy. And that's it from here. Many thanks for watching. I am Joyce Ometu.
Thank you, Joyce. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde says 31 more persons have tested positive to the coronavirus, and 30 of them are staff of an organization in Ibadan, southwest Nigeria. The remaining one case is from Egbeda local government area. In a tweet, the governor said the organization with 30 patients has been shut down and will be decontaminated. The governor also confirmed that contact tracing has already commenced. With the new cases, the total number of confirmed cases in Oyo State is now 107. Nigerians have been called upon to support federal and state governments in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic. The Emir of Dara, Alhaji Umar Farouk Umar, made the call in Katsina after being discharged from hospital. The Emir says government is spending a huge amount of money to ensure the safety of Nigerians against the dreaded COVID-19. The Emir acknowledged the concern and support of President Muhammad Buhari, Governor Aminu Masari, and other Nigerians while on admission at the hospital. Old age comes with several ailments, which often demands the protection of the elderly from certain environments. In this period of COVID-19, there are high-risk factors which need to be put into consideration in caring for the elderly. Austin Edemodu reports.
The ravaging COVID-19 knows no bound. From children to adults, no one is spared. As cases continue to mount globally, there is growing concern about the health of the elderly ones.
In the elderly, chronic illnesses are more common. For example, hypertension is commoner in the elderly, diabetes is commoner in the elderly, and also terminal illnesses like cancers. They're commoner in the elderly. Chronic kidney diseases, chronic liver diseases, and all that. They're commoner in the elderly. So when they have all of this, their immunity drops. The response or the ability of the body to respond to diseases and fight diseases is reduced. And so because of that, you don't want to expose them unduly.
To further protect these elderly persons from being exposed to the deadly virus, certain measures have been adopted by healthcare providers.
Come to the hospital only when necessary. Like some come to visit their grandchildren, delivery and all. I said, no, don't come, just at home. They'll come and meet you at home because you coming out, you are exposing yourself. They can send their younger children, they sort out their cards and we feed their drugs for them so they don't have to come themselves.
From all indications, the elderly persons are are not totally left out in the scheme of things, as been speculated, but equally have access to medical health care when necessary, says the Delta State Contributory Health Care Scheme.
For the aged, remember that our equity plan covers children under 5, pregnant women, and the vulnerable aged ones. Not every aged person is vulnerable. Some of them are registered. Those that are registered are covered, COVID-19 or no COVID-19.
At this juncture, COVID-19 precautionary measures must be observed in context with the well-being of the elderly persons in the society, as every life is valuable. Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
Still on the elderly at this time, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has directed businesses and financial institutions to give priority to the elderly as a vulnerable group and attend to them between 9 and 10:30 a.m. before opening to the general public. The governor, at a press briefing giving updates on COVID-19, stated that government will soon commence distribution of free face masks to residents. Nosa Ursula reports.
Of the partial relaxation of lockdown urged businesses to readjust their modus operandi to accommodate social distancing and other preventive measures in event of total uplifting of the lockdown.
We're able to also treat a patient that was COVID positive through a cesarean birth. We're able to bring out a baby alive, and this is the third in a series of patients that have been COVID positive, but they've been pregnant, and they've been very successful operations taking place at each and every one of them.
Governor Sanwo-Olu threatened to revoke the operating licenses of businesses, flouting the lockdown directive of the state government.
Anytime you're in a public place, please ensure that you're wearing a face mask. It is not only to protect yourself, it's also to protect you from others. And so please, like I did mention at the last address, people need to take responsibility. We need to take full responsibility for ourselves and for our loved ones. And we cannot stop at ensuring that people do this at all times.
The governor, who frowned at the level of disregard for some of the directives by some residents and commercial bus operators, enjoined them to comply as they were put in place for their health and safety. In Lagos, Nosa Ursula, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives says the decision of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja concerning a suit on the infectious disease bill was misinterpreted to mislead the media. In a statement, Chairman House Committee on Media and Publicity, Representative Benjamin Kalu, notes that though the applicant in the case sought an order for the suspension of consideration of the infectious disease control bill by the House, the court at no point in the interim order granted that relief, but rather ordered respondents in the case to appear before it on the 20th of May 2020 and enter a defense before making a long-term decision on the case. The statement adds that the wrong reports on the interim order is unfortunate, stressing that the act of legislation is a constitutional responsibility which should not be subjected to flimsy reportage. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Chairman Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, has described NNPC as true hallmark of a national company. He gave the commendation in Abuja at the presentation of 20 ventilators by NNPC and partners to boost the federal government's fight to curb community spread of the virus. Leader Samson reports.
COVID-19 has unleashed a new strand of terror across the world. The good news, however, is with the fear is also the global togetherness and resolve to fight the pandemic. It is in the light of this that individuals, corporate organizations, both public and private, are donating state-of-the-art critical equipment to help in the treatment before a vaccine or cure is found. Mitros Limited and Auxerre Shipping France, in collaboration with the NNPC, presented the ventilators to the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19.
With this, we have practically given a ventilator materials to every state of the Federation and an ambulance to every state of the Federation, and we're also constructing permanent structure in at least 14 states of the Federation.
Part of our corporate social responsibility, we decided with Auxerre to deliver this modern 20 of these modern ventilators to NNPC, knowing that it will get to the right hands.
We have all from our different and diverse backgrounds have arisen in one accord with a resolute determination and trust in ourselves and in God to ensure that this pandemic does not overwhelm us.
Boss Mustafa said it is disheartening that some Nigerians still are skeptical about the coronavirus pandemic, stressing that community engagements will continue in line with the mandate given the task force by President Muhammadu Buhari. He commended the unity of purpose by critical stakeholders in the fight against COVID-19. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, has formally handed over 4,780 metric tons of assorted food items to Kano State Government. The consignment was released to the state for distribution to the less privileged to minimize the effects of the lockdown order in the state.
The consignment is made up of 10 trucks of rice, 2,438 metric tons of maize, 1,380 metric tons of millet, and 900 metric tons of sorghum. It was released by the federal government for distribution to the poor and vulnerable members of the society. During a visit to the Kano Government House, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, informed Governor Ganduje that the gesture is to ease the economic hardship resulting from the lockdown order imposed to contain the COVID-19 transmission.
To ensure that the poor and vulnerable in the society, including the elderly and persons living with disabilities, are prioritized in the distribution of these relief materials because they are really the most affected in times of crisis such as this.
Governor Abdullah Umar Ganduje, who thanked the federal government for the support, assured that adequate arrangements have been made to ensure successful distribution of the food items.
We have the World Bank data on the poorest of the poor in the state. And all what we needed was to revisit that data and fine-tune it.
The distribution, he disclosed, will be carried out across the 484 political wards of the state. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
And over 22,000 indigenous community members in Ewu-Esat, Central Local Government Area of Edo State, have benefited from the distribution of food relief by the Chris Oyakilome Foundation International. Adot Jebi Ojegwa reports that the team leader, Pastor Omo Alabi, led other zonal pastors from Edo North and Central, as well as Benin Zone, to the palace of the Onoje of Ewu to flag off the distribution exercise.
This little token that he has given to us, we say may the Almighty God bless our brother.
We are grateful. Yeah, there's no problem. We are grateful. The first time of coming our village to do this one, we are very grateful.
The Onoje of Ewu, His Royal Highness Zaiki Razak Ojefo III, in company of palace functionaries, commended the President Believer's Love World, Pastor Chris Oyakilome, for touching the lives of his kinsmen with food items to cushion the effects of the lockdown.
It's a thing of great relief. Pastor Chris Oyakilome is a son of Ewu. We are proud of him. We are happy with his exploit in life.
The team leader, Chris Oyakilome Foundation International, Pastor Omo Alabi, in company of other zonal pastors, in their separate remarks, said it is the desire of their founder, proclaimed by his message, that the vulnerable should be strengthened so that they can triumph over the challenges which come with the lockdown.
We've actually carried out emergency food response in all the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, and we're providing wholesome palliatives for these families.
For this particular community, we looked at for people that are vulnerable, the elderly,
The Chris Oyakhilome Foundation International is a faith-based development, non-governmental, non-political organization established to help individuals, communities, and nations to lead purposeful lives. The foundation has reportedly impacted over 1 million persons, 500 communities in 23 African countries, including India in Southeast Asia. From Ewu, Adogbeji Ojegba, NTA News.
The Nasarawa State government has conveyed its profound appreciation to the Federal Road Safety Corps for deploying additional 2 life support ambulances with complete team of personnel to the state in the fight against coronavirus pandemic, describing the gesture as unprecedented. The Nasarawa State Commissioner for Health, Ahmed Yahya, alerts the Corps' continuous show of commitment and support towards the fight against the global health challenge through deployment of personnel to enforce orders, as well as provision of adequate ambulance services for the evacuation of identified coronavirus patients. The FRSC boss, Oyeyemi, assures that the Corps will continue to live up to its responsibilities as the fight against COVID-19 continues. Let's now take a break from COVID-19 and talk about the World Telecommunication and Information Society Day. Leaving no one behind means leaving no one offline. This is a resounding message the United Nations brings to the table this year as it commemorates World Telecommunication and Information Society Day with the theme Connect 2030, ICTs for the SDGs. The UN sees the day as a reminder that international cooperation on digital technology is essential to help defeat COVID-19 and achieve the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Justin Bemoy reports.
May 17 is set aside annually since 1969 as World Telecommunication and Information Society Day. It marks the anniversary of the signing of the first International Telegraph Convention and the creation of the International Telecommunication Union. The day is observed in order to raise awareness on the possibilities of the use of internet and other information and communication technologies in bringing the society and economies together to bridge the digital divide. Now, the United Nations idea is that information technology can be a beacon of hope, allowing billions of people around the world to connect, most especially at this time of COVID-19. And this is the time these connections with loved ones, schools and colleges, workplaces, healthcare professionals and essential supplies are most important than ever.
New technologies from 5G and big data to cloud computing and artificial intelligence are powerful tools to tackle the world's most pressing challenges, including the pandemic.
The Nigerian government wants to harp on the opportunities inherent in digital economy as the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Isa Ali Pantami, gives indications that the digital economy is the future of revenue generation. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
To speak more on the World Telecommunication and Information Society Day, I have joining me via Zoom the Honorable Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Dr. Ali Isa Pantami. Honorable Minister, it's nice to have you on the news.
Well, thank you very much.
All right.
Nice
At Connect 2030, ICT for the SDGs, in clear terms, can you explain the place of ICT in achieving SDGs in Nigeria?
Excuse me, please.
All right, I said, can you explain the place of ICT in achieving the SDGs in Nigeria?
Even with the challenge of COVID-19 as we have it here, and the way we are promoting social distancing or physical distancing, it is a clear indication that we are leveraging on ICT today to even deliver most of our activities in governance or even outside governance. And secondly, if you look at the strategy and the policies of our President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, there is a clear indication that government focuses more now on ICT, firstly by bringing digital economy concept, secondly, coming up with national digital economy policy and strategy for a digital Nigeria, and thirdly, having our national broadband plan in place 2020 to 2025. I think with these even policies we have in place and that we have started implementing, it is a clear indication that now Nigeria focuses more on ICT.
Minister, the UN is also speaking of international cooperation through digital technology to defeat COVID-19. How do the people stay safe? How do you think the people could stay safe using digital platforms?
I think, firstly, there is no doubt that using digital platform brings about social distancing or physical distancing. And secondly, when you go online, there could be other challenges like cybercrime. In Nigeria, we have been improving when it comes to cybersecurity. Firstly, we have computer emergency response and readiness stream. We have at least 4 of them in Nigeria that we are monitoring potential attacks, and we are releasing advisory notes from time to time to both private and public institutions. And secondly, we have been creating awareness because cybersecurity requires creating awareness. So we have been creating awareness at the same time. And thirdly, we have been improving in trying to deploy up-to-date technology that cannot be compromised easily. So with this, I think, as we go online, the federal government of Nigeria comes up with more policies in order to ensure that Nigerians are secure and safe while online.
The world is upscaling digitally and bringing societies closer. Are there measures in place to ensure that it does not impact biodiversity negatively?
Excuse me?
I said that the world is upscaling digitally and bringing societies together. Are there measures in place to ensure that it does not impact negatively on biodiversity?
However, to be fair with you, any advancement in technology that comes up, it has its own negative side of it. However, in this aspect, the way we have started planning for the digital economy journey, I have no doubt that it will not have the negative impact that maybe some people could perceive. At least we are trying to ensure that ICT is not in any way replacing, but rather trying to improve. And secondly, safety and security and even health of our citizens is our top priority. Whatever we deploy, our first priority is firstly to ensure that there is safety. Secondly, there is security. And thirdly, it will not in any way compromise the health of our citizens. These are our own priorities in whatever we deploy. So because of this, there are standards of International Telecommunications Union when it comes to deploying ICT. We always ensure that in Nigeria, we follow the standards and the regulations, and that will go a long way in reducing or eliminating any negative impact that could be perceived.
Prime Minister, thank you so much for joining us on the news. Thank you for sharing your time with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the renewal of the tenure of Mr. Benjamin Akabweze as Director General of the Budget Office of the Federation. A statement by the Special Advisor, Media to the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Yunus Abdullahi, says Mr. Akabweze was appointed as DG Budget on June 10, 2016, and that his appointment would expire June 10, 2020. The renewal, the statement adds, is as a result of several reforms that the Budget Office is currently undergoing, and Akabweze's track record of sterling performance, which endeared the President to renew his tenure in order to institutionalize the achievements for sustainable improvement in the Budget Office of the Federation. President Muhammadu Buhari has authorized the commencement of a major military operation to sweep bandits and kidnappers out of Katsina State. In a statement released by the President disclosed that a major proactive operation by special forces, which details are being kept secret, is now in progress to replace the reactive strikes against insurgent camps. To give a full effect to the exercise, a planning team is already in the state, selecting targets and making preparations for the execution of the unprecedented operation. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Gabriel Olonishakin, who has been measured in issuing official statements on the ongoing exercise, briefed the President on the plan to and the plan intends to flag off shortly. President Buhari, who expressed sadness over the recent attacks in the state, extended his condolences to the families of those killed and prayed for the recovery of the injured. Still on security, willing, able and ready is the battle cry of NAF Special Forces operatives deployed to support the NAF 2-2 Quick Response Wing and other operatives in Nasarawa State to put an end to banditry and other security threats. Defense correspondent Najatu Tijani reports.
Arriving from Makudi and other locations for their deployment is the NAF Regiment. They've spent months in rigorous training and have demonstrated their skills in various tests. And now they're about to be tested in a different scenario.
And to thank the Chief of Air Staff for taking it also personally to send a very top-ranking member representing him here to welcome them. And this is a very special assignment. And we, the people of Nasarawa State, will give them the maximum cooperation in order for them to be very successful.
Your deployment in Lafia is both for the state and for the North Central in general. You must cooperate with these security agencies, including the Operational Wise Troop that I'll be working with while you're here.
Beyond boosting security in Nasarawa State, it is expected that the deployment of these special forces operatives will lead to long-lasting peace, not only in Nasarawa State, but the entire country. In a related development, work is ongoing at the airport in Lafia, which will play a big role in NAF operations, especially when the fuel station is completed. Najatu Tijani, NTA News.
Let's now talk sports. Handball Federation of Nigeria commends sponsors of the Prudence Energy Handball Premier League for donating money as palliatives to the league players. The money is expected to be shared among the clubs featuring in the Handball League. Kehinde Lamidi has the rest of the story.
Sponsor, who in 2018 in Lagos agreed to join hands with the Handball Federation of Nigeria in the development of the sport, from the grassroots decided to use the National League as a starting point. The Handball National League, which is featuring male and female categories, supposed to organize the first stage of the third edition in Abuja in April, but could not come up due to coronavirus pandemic, which has adversely affected sports world over. Hence, the palliatives, first of its kind, from a sponsor to cushion the effects of COVID-19. The sponsor of Prudent Energy Handball Premier League approved a sum of 5.5 million naira as palliatives to be shared among players in the Premier League.
We came into this, knowing very well that we have budding stars in Nigeria, and they do not have the opportunity. And we felt it was incumbent on us as a corporate entity to invest in the youth.
The president of the federation, Sam Ochewu, who appreciated the guests, who assured that the money will be evenly distributed.
This palliative, it is principally for players of the Premier League, and it will be shared 250,000 naira by each of the team. They've also decided to extend a bit to the Premier League referees and officials too.
With a palliative that will go a long way in solving some problems of some families and players and coaches alike.
By giving palliative to all the players, all the coaches, all the referees, all the match delegates, and the tournament director.
They collectively, with the sponsor, look forward to the league resuming at the end of COVID-19 so that handballers can continue doing what they love doing best. In Lagos, Kehinde Lamidi, NTA Sports.
In Sports Update ends the news segment of the program. Becky will be back with some captivating reports for you. Stay with us.
I wish to once again commend the frontline workers across the country who, on a daily basis, risk everything to ensure we win this fight. For those who got infected in the line of duty, rest assured that government will do all it takes to support you and your families during this exceedingly difficult period. I will also take this opportunity to assure you all that your safety well-being, and welfare remains paramount to our government. I am using this opportunity to express our deepest condolences to the families of all Nigerians that have lost their loved ones as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is our collective loss, and we share your grief.
We dey catchy feelings, we dey cry.
Amaka, ani kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀?
Try. If you do better thing, you go drive, mama.
Leave that house now. Amaka. Stay where you are. You are going nowhere. Amaka!
For blockbuster movies like this, series and much more, download the Airtel TV app.
Mr. Announcer, you not tell them say this film is still there on top of fire. And you say me, we see the shoot, oh.
Download the Airtel TV app from Apple and Android Play Store. Enjoy for 7 days data free.
Airtel TV by Airtel, the smartphone network.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Guy, what happened? This COVID-19 is not easy on my business, so my client just put the project on hold. Imagine that one of last week. They cancelled it. And I am scheduled to call my tax officer next week. What do I tell him? Relax. FIRS has it sorted already. That's why they issued palliative measures to cushion the effects of COVID-19 on taxpayers. Remittance of VAT, which used to be on or before 21st of every month, has now been extended to the last day of the month. FIRS also states that it's imperative that companies whose revenues are in foreign currency and personal income, tax returns for foreign affairs, non-residents, military and police, immediately check their website for important updates as well as information on late returns penalty. All supporting documents can be submitted later to the tax office for all those who cannot access email facilities. There are lots more. From now till further notice, FIRS says all taxpayers can now take advantage of its simple, user-friendly and robust e-filing process to submit their documents online instead of visiting tax offices. Dedicated email addresses for each of the offices are available on their website, www.firs.gov.ng. Stay safe and comply with all the guidelines issued by the government so that together we can make Nigeria working again.
This broadcast is powered by FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service.
Data plan. All existing Glow customers now enjoy up to 20% more data. Dial *777# to choose a plan. Glow Unlimited.
Power outages have become part of our lives, and life can be a nightmare without power. That's why, now more than ever, you need to take control of your life with Omaha Portables.
The power output of every Omaha generator is exactly as stated in its power rating.
As long as there's Omaha, your home will have the reliable power you thoroughly deserve.
Omaha generator gives us peace of mind because it never fails us.
Omaha Portable Generators, inspired by you. Amazing Bluetooth, gripping 4K, high-def satellite receiver, vibrant colors, make you feel truly immersed in the action. Omaha Omaha Television, inspired by you.
I'm back. The rural population is often ignored when the pandemic is discussed. Are they even aware about the safety measures they must observe in order to avoid coronavirus? Do they know about the demands of social distancing? In search of answers from people in the interior, Oyinaya Kaloka went through rough terrains before accessing some villages in the FCT.
The village is located in the remote part of Gwagwalada Area Council. Getting to the village is a Herculean task, as the only road leading to it is this river. We had to cross over, but it was not easy.
I'm afraid
Getting close gives a clearer picture. It is a typical African settlement, mud houses, thatched roofs. This is a small sleeping village with few people, and it is located in Gwagwalada Area Council. We got to the village at noon and met the women preparing for dinner. Being a nomadic settlement, most of the men have gone out with the cattle for grazing, and so the crew settled with the people around to know how knowledgeable they are about COVID-19 and preventive measures. Have you heard about COVID-19? I have heard about a strange sickness. No more movement.
I don't hear, all Nigeria, don't come. In this time, people not go anywhere. Come here, say everybody, there's don't one place. You not go any place. You know they go most, you know they go some place.
From here, the crew visited another village in Abuja Municipal Area Council, Amak. The village is called Gudungba. It's a Basa settlement who are majorly farmers. Gudungba is a Basa word named after the founder of this village, who was a great farmer. This small sleepy village, though located in the remote part of the council, is aware of COVID-19. Some of the youth in the village, like Abdul Salami Abubakar, has taken it upon themselves to educate the locals about the virus.
Always they send message to us through our SIM card. They send message to us about the coronavirus, and we read it and we see how it is. Always when we are going out, we will close our nose, mouth.
Coronavirus.
Okay. So
coronavirus is airborne. Government said people should wear face mask.
The people of Gudumba are so enlightened that they have locked the holy mosque to prevent community spreading.
Government has banned gathering and movement. Since this virus is likely to kill someone, it is better to stay at home. Cover your mouth, not to be infected.
The area councils promised to intensify campaigns on preventive measures in the villages.
And in our own effort also, we have a committee at the local government level where they go from community to community, preach to them the hand wash, preach to them the usage of sanitizers, and above all, the influx of the rural communities into the town was minimized.
And those are steps that we use first, the traditional institutions. Second, we use our, the people's representative, those are the ward honorable councillors. We send them back to their various wards to reach out to their localities.
True to the African proverbs that says, sticks in bundle are unbreakable, I joined the women in pounding the local snacks called fura as a sign of unity and togetherness in tackling the spread of COVID-19.
See that there's so much awareness in rural areas because coronavirus has no restriction, hence we must restrict ourselves. I guess you know what I mean. Now the plus side to the lockdown is that families were forced to spend time together. Domestic bonds are stronger and ties are closer. Then you could say Nigerian mothers are busier than ever. Apart from kitchen duties, they are the ones who pick up after everybody, ensuring that the home front is sanitized. While we give wives and mothers kudos, it is only natural to inquire from them how they are coping at the moment. Imola Yotokide reports.
Women play a vital role in societal growth and invariably national development. A woman is a nurturer, a homemaker, a caregiver, and caretaker. She assumes multiple responsibilities as a mother, sister, daughter, and wife.
Mainly looking at it, you see that women have a strong role in family to play because they will make sure that both men, women, and children are moving equally, and no one will be feel cheated.
The partial lockdown has virtually everyone indoors, with schools closed. Parents, particularly wives, take on their primary roles as mothers, then their new role as school teachers.
The teachers are really trying. The children, they will disturb. In the morning, you have to wake up, you cook. They've not finished eating, they have to demand for another food, have to know those work.
Given the enormity of the duties of the working woman and the stress that comes with running a home, some are still grateful for a few opportunities the lockdown affords.
We used to wake up early before, but towards the time of lockdown, we used to sleep very well. When we wake up, we cook, everybody eats, we rest.
Before, there are some things that happen in my home I don't know. And for the fact that I'm at home with my children, I discovered that a lot is going on.
The lockdown makes me to have time at least for my homework, like the children clothes, the upkeeping, and all that other things doing at home as a house choice.
At least my husband pay me attention. We join together, we eat together, we do things together, we listen well as one family.
However, Madam Aduni Udu is a grandmother serving as the managing director of a company and a medical lab scientist with more than 40 years experience. It hasn't been a taxing period.
I've been working from home. I'm someone who is very active as MD CEO. I cannot sit and do nothing because I have partners all over the world. And they communicate with me, I communicate with them. So work is as usual. Even I work more at home. For me, the lockdown has not changed anything.
At this point, women should be given accolades for their hard work and multitasking abilities, and tangible appreciation like cute gifts would go a long way to spur them on. Becky, do you agree with me?
Yes, I do. Women need gifts every time. Still on that, some women who acknowledged their enhanced roles to Ayodeji Ogunsaki also provided tips on coping mechanisms.
In reality, children are playful and restless by nature, a situation that constitutes additional burden on their parents, particularly the mother. It is a relief when children are away from home, either in school or engaged in activities that keep them busy. The COVID-19 situation and the lockdown imposed by the federal and some state governments to curtail the community transmission of the virus, children and parents are together at home, which increases the responsibilities of their parents.
It's by God's grace, because children they are at home now. They eat at time 2 hours intervals. Mommy, I want to eat, I want to do this, I want to do that. Even the inconveniences we are encounter from them is too much.
We need to shout at length before they hear what we are telling them, because the kids don't normally fear we parents. They respect their teachers more than we that gave birth to them. So, but we have no option than to take care of them and abide with what they are doing. I used to beat them, but I will pet them back.
They are consuming much, we are spending much on food, and we need to take much time to check them because they used to play.
And at times we need to create time to monitor them so that they'll be able to read.
Since there are increased responsibilities on children and domestic activities at this period, there is bound for frustration arising from constant correction of the children. Managing such situation, however, requires patience.
Definitely, with everyone staying at home now, there will be more friction. And of course, those that are on the loving side will have more love towards each other and all of that. But I would just like to implore the women that we should be very patient. Of course, scenarios will come up that would probably annoy you and all that. But first of all, toe the line of patience. As much as possible, your children, this is the time to involve your children in activities at home. It should not be only you doing everything. Toddlers have what they can do.
Inasmuch as the lockdown persists, managing family and other domestic engagements remain sacrosanct. However, as people of the world were hopeful that there will be light at the end of the tunnel, most women said they cannot afford to wait to see an end to this pandemic coronavirus ravaging the nation.
Can't wait to see an end, but women are coming through for their families, and thanks must go to them constantly. Now, you must have heard it said in several quarters that God is angry with humans and coronavirus is divine punishment for sins. There's also a small group who argue that the virus does not exist in Nigeria, going further to insinuate that it was fabricated for monetary gains. These somewhat bizarre theories flying around are capable of discouraging citizens from aligning with government's actions towards checkmating COVID-19. Charity James in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, will reveal more figments about the virus in that city.
The government for some months have put in huge resources and some measures to contain the spread of coronavirus in Nigeria. Despite these efforts, the country tends to record increase in the number of those infected with the virus on daily basis. The reason may not be far from the different myths and beliefs of the people about COVID-19. This implies that there is still a huge demand for information and awareness about COVID-19 that is yet to be met. Therefore, how many actually believe coronavirus is real?
Well, some people believe, but for myself, I can't believe. It's demonic something.
As for me, I believe that coronavirus is real.
In Nigeria, they've mentioned a certain amount of number of people that are dead, but I've not seen it. Since it has not happened in this side, I don't really believe it is real.
It is real. That's why you see me using my nose mask. We have our hand wash, sanitizer, in order to sanitize our hand often.
Some even attach religious connotation to COVID-19, saying it is a sign of end time and punishment from God as a result of sins, while others believe it is the aftermath of technology, the myths that militate against the fight in curbing the spread of the virus.
Never come through China, never come through America. It is punishment from heaven. The only solution is for us to turn to God for repentance.
Yes, it exists, but not really in Africa, because I'm aware that the virus is not survive on the ash weather.
My belief is that the world is undergoing an elevation that we are going to be elevated in terms of technology. It's just a phase. It will go off.
Coronavirus is real. This is the prophecy of an end time.
My own idea is that it's a natural disaster.
The various myths and beliefs notwithstanding, medical experts advises against negligence of the safety rules as coronavirus is real.
I want you to understand that, please, there is coronavirus. It is real, 100% real. There will be face masks, sanitizer, washing your hands, clean, go to the house. If you're not doing anything outside, please try and go to your house.
From the foregoing, there is a knowledge gap that must be filled to avoid unpleasant consequences in the near future.
The virus is real. It is real. Oh, better be safe than sorry. Meanwhile, the prevailing pandemic has brought about a growing list of words and terms that were hitherto dormant. Kemi Akinwande highlights some of these words which have suddenly become popular due to COVID-19.
The words would be quarantine,
self-isolation, asymptomatic and symptomatic. But in this period, I've used them more, and I think that their meanings have become more pronounced.
Like pandemic, epidemic, knowing the difference between pandemic and epidemic.
This social distancing of everything, in a way, was popularized by COVID-19.
Other words like ventilator, PPE, disinfect, elbow balm, work from home are now prominent in everyday communication since the outbreak of COVID-19, which is top on the list of global issues across sectors.
There is a disease that demands that we use them. Basically, if you're looking at what that are related to this particular pandemic, you will discover that you can classify these words into two categories. We can put them, we can look at those that were in existence before, and then look at the ones that had evolved. These are the new words. But there are other words, index patient, index case, and these other words. They are words that are, they were there because even where you don't have pandemics, where you have an epidemic, these words too are used.
These words, lockdown, isolation, were not originally meant to describe the situation where we found ourselves. Lockdown, for instance, was used by, to refer to situations where prisoners were taken back to prison after a jailbreak.
There is face mask, also social distancing and physical distancing.
It's a migration from one to the other because it was social distancing. But then the question is, if you call it social distancing, are you saying each person will now stand alone? Human beings are social animals.
The concept of physical distancing came to replace social distancing because what is important is that you maintain certain meters away from the next person, and then of course observe other forms of precautionary measures.
Some of the words are trending in the entertainment industry.
We can only entertain ourselves with those buzzing words now or hilarious comments on social media. That is the way people are functionally living under this particular condition. And I think that is good for us. Everything does not have to be sad.
And on a lighter note, it is assumed at some quarters that post-COVID-19, the world of fashion and style may take away some of the words to describe colors such as sanitizer white, quarantine green, pandemic purple, and isolated yellow. What's your take, Becky?
Amazing. Thanks, Kemi, for that interesting and educative piece. Time for a break. More reports coming right after.
Data plan. All existing Glow customers now enjoy up to 20% more data. Dial *777# to choose a plan. Glow Unlimited.
Molfix pants with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix pants, inspired by babies.
Action.
Make your home the place to be with GoTV's super cool kids channels.
That sounds fun.
From funky friends that'll keep even the little ones busy.
All right, everybody, let's do this!
To learn as you watch educational shows for curious young minds.
You can do some amazing things.
There's plenty
plenty for everyone. Tune in to our kids shows and get everything you need to keep the kids entertained and learning the fun way. Go TV, live it, love it.
Nigerians, let us take responsibility. Stay healthy, stay safe, and curb the spread of the virus. Take responsibility. The coronavirus spreads from one person to another. Let us avoid crowd gathering of any kind for any reason. Take responsibility. Avoid traveling from one state to another during these lockdown restrictions. Obey all the rules that are put in place. Take responsibility. Stop spreading fake news and unverified reports about the coronavirus. There is no known cure for COVID-19. Take responsibility. Observe all the measures that can help stop the spread of the virus. Together, we can do this, but only if we take responsibility. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Your hogs are a comfy place for dropping in, for lazing around, and hanging out. So we've designed our hugs to be just as comfy, with a soup-absorbent core to lock wetness away, and the soft, flexible waistband. Our most comfortable diaper keeps baby comfy at every angle. We'll never stop finding new ways to hug more like you. Huggies, your hugs inspire ours.
Welcome, dear. Have you washed your hands?
I'm inside my house again. This thing not the key black man.
I don't know if it's misinformation or poor hygiene that will kill you first. Coronavirus is real, and good hygiene practice will save your life. Anyway, no hand washing, no eating.
I will not take care of it. How's one of the parents? Coronavirus is real and it's on the rise. But you can help yourself and help others to be safe. Remember, we can stop the spread. It's in your hands.
This message is from the Akinfade Foundation in partnership with the National Orientation Agency with support from MacArthur Foundation.
Welcome back. Containing the spread of the deadly COVID-19 is a collective task, and all hands are on deck to ensure it is tamed. As we focus on the global health challenge, environmentalists say there is need to keep an eye on the impact of climate change, particularly sea level rise. Jennifer Igwe is set to tell us why we should not ignore warning signs on Lagos coastline.
Anyone taking a walk along beaches in Lagos would assume the ocean is calm, as its waves silently break on the shoreline with none of its dramatic surge that often wreaks havoc. One would almost be tempted to think the ocean was sympathizing with humans because of the coronavirus pandemic that is raging the world over. In reality, however, the ocean has been sending signals, dangerous ones at that, and are overlooked.
This week now, the water has been angry. I don't know what is making it to be angry.
Ferocious waves at the Marwa beach in Oniru, Lagos, for instance, have pushed heavy rocks used to form groins along the shoreline to slow down the waves' impact and ocean surge. Those who drive past this Water Corporation Link Road to Lekki have experienced the effect of the waves pushing beyond the shoreline protection. Resultant erosion is already eating deep into the road construction.
In one fell swoop, you can have a very strong wave that will come and cause havoc. So people should be aware, the government should be aware of the possibility of that happening, and then we should be conscious and do what we can do to ensure that we stop anything that can happen so that the Oniru beach will not be flooded. Because it's going to come down. It's going to come down towards the Lekki axis as well. And that's something that we need to be careful about and need to watch out to see that we don't overlook it and it takes us unawares.
For Joseph Adazo and others who earn a living around the beach area and live in shanties along the shoreline, it is a case of keeping an eye on a cool-looking neighbor that can turn deadly overnight.
Carried 3 people last month. 1 day, the following day 1 person. After like 2 days, bring their dead bodies out.
Environmentalists say rising sea levels, one of the impacts of climate change, is a global challenge with devastating local effects capable of causing environmental catastrophe.
Scientists have warned us that we need to address this situation. Our coastal area needs to be protected with massive rock-growing formations, and also the carbon pollution must be reduced, and also we need to plant millions and millions and millions of trees to address this situation.
Houses, businesses, and vast investments in that axis are under threat of being overtaken by the ocean. And as we approach the core rainy season, rising sea levels could compound the challenge of flooding in Lagos. Experts say as we intensify the fight against COVID-19, there is need for us to pay attention to coastlines like Lagos so that the impact of sea level rise does not create another disaster.
That report should signal a call to action. Moving on, since the outbreak of COVID-19, the media has focused majorly on happenings in urban centers. You would agree that goings-on in rural settings are grossly underreported, as if coronavirus is attracted to only modernity. Therefore, we are venturing into those territories to find out if dwellers are in tune with the times. Olubukola Aduwu took a trip to some riverine communities in Ilaje, local government area of Ondo State, and will report on their present lifestyle.
Of COVID-19 in Ondo State took us to this riverine community. Ayetoro was said to have been founded in 1947. What we find out is nostalgic. It is indeed a paradise lost.
The Elders Council of Ayetoro. Old men and women wearing pensive and long faces with eyes that seem to have seen better days. They have nothing to cheer, and understandably so. Their cherished old town, which many of them say they have spent the better parts of their lives to build, is now being ravaged by a ferocious enemy, the Atlantic Ocean. Day by day, the Atlantic Ocean overruns its shores with ferocious intensity, invading homes and destroying properties. They say close to 40% of the town is now lost to the rampaging sea. On the side of history, Ayetoro used to be a thriving island of the brave and brilliant. It was a community built on communism, where the people were said to have generated their own electricity, transportation, educational facilities, and many commercial centers. All these are today history.
We built the largest fishing boat ever built here, under the name of what? Nigeria.
Adebowale Ejagbomo, a graduate of petrochemical engineering and one of the youths of Ayetoro, says their hearts are broken as they watch the progressive loss of their once paradise.
We have some recreational areas that are still behind this place. We have some markets around this area as well. Series of buildings. You can see some skeletal part of the remaining building that has been destroyed by the angry wave of the sea. So in the whole of the sea, look at the length of the street itself. It has gone. Everything has gone down into the sea. So we are devastated.
People now live in fear of the unknown. Even if it is physically known, fear of the unknown that one day, one night, we may all be submerged into the sea. That is what we are facing.
Oba Frederick Akinuton, the traditional ruler of Ugbo Kingdom, who is passionate about the declining fortunes of Ayetoro, which is a coastal oil-producing community, said his people need more help from government and those doing business in the area.
We are suffering here. So many things have eluded us, and that's what we are trying to do now. Appealing to the government, the state government, we are appealing to the federal government to come for our aid.
While not forgetting what brought us to Ayetoro, we observed that though the people are aware of the virus, not much of wearing of face mask and hand washing is noticed.
Let's take a break for another batch of commercials. Stay with Newsline.
The number of the COVID-19 cases in Nigeria is increasing daily, with many more tests ongoing. The battle of testing, isolating, treating, and attending to the affected persons rests heavily on the shoulders of our health workers, constantly putting their lives on the line and at risk to contain this virus, save and protect the lives of millions of Nigerians. To these health workers, we at the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, on behalf of millions of Nigerians, say a big thank you for all that you have done and are doing. To the security agencies enforcing the lockdown and every other frontliner, we say thank you for putting your lives on the line to save ours. There is no amount of words that can quantify our gratitude. Thank you. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
GoTV dey your side as times dey tough so. We don see your loyalty and we appreciate the journey wey we don waka together. That na why GoTV dey sama you with better upgrade to the next package as you stay connected or reconnect. We dey your side with correct entertainment. You fit save up to 75% because na we. Na to stay connected or reconnect, GoTV go upgrade you at no extra cost. Wow! Stay connected with GoTV self-service payment options. Visit GoTVAfrica.com to gather more information about this better discount and our payment options. GoTV dey your side. Enjoy GoTV Wow Awoof. GoTV. Live it. Love it.
How did I get here? It all started shortly after I graduated from MSTC, the Model Skills Training Center, with a certificate in ICT. I successfully developed a data management program that has been called the software of the future. Thanks to its success, everyone wants it, and as you can see, now everyone wants me. But I'm not alone. The skills training programs at MSTC are equipping young Nigerians to become the next big success story. Whether it's ICT, mechatronics, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, or culinary studies, a certificate at MSTC is the way of the future. And just like me, there he is. Everyone will want you to.
The nation's human resource. We have observed the lockdown. We have practiced the measures in order to curb the spread of the virus, but we can do better. The coronavirus spread is increasing daily, and only together can we cut down the numbers and defeat the spread of the virus. Remember, COVID-19 is not a death sentence, and a recovered patient cannot spread the disease. Do not stigmatize. Do not hesitate to report any case, or if you have come in contact with anybody that has been infected with COVID-19. If you have cough and fever, please stay at home and call your state hotline. Find state numbers at www.covid19.ncdc.gov.ng. Remember, it is for your own good and for the good of every Nigerian. Let us do better and defeat the virus. Together, we can do this. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
25th February 2020, Nigeria. It is real. It is a nightmare. It is killing people all over the world. It is COVID-19. Compliance with the various states in Nigeria, the current measures will flatten the curves. Shutting down is not an act of wickedness, but an act to save lives. Stay home, stay safe. Observe social distance. Always put on a face mask while leaving your house. Make sure you are on the tricycle alone. Cars and buses cannot carry more than half their passengers.
Always remember to wash your hands. Together, we will defeat COVID-19.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, Nigerian Film Corporation, powering possibilities.
I'm Taiwo. And I'm Kenny, and we live here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. We've lived here for 15 years. Yeah, we're here to dedicate this video to my cousin. My dear cousin who lost his life due to coronavirus. His name was Papa Femi Adebayo Femi. He was a good guy. And he left behind his wife and two little kids. 2 children. He was in the ventilator for 12 days and he died. Anyways, we are here to alert everybody, both in Nigeria and in diaspora, to please stay safe. It's not enough to say stay safe. Maintain the social distancing, because it's easy to just get into the routine and say that other person also had coronavirus. If I get it, I'm young and strong and I'll be fine. But it's not about us being just young and strong. Here in Brazil, we've blamed the president, blamed everybody, but the responsibility still lies on us. Please, if you can, if you have to go outside, maintain the social distancing, wash your hands all the time. Use your face mask. Use gloves if you can. And once you come inside, you return home, just try as much as possible to disinfect yourself at all times, because it's real. It's real. People don't have to die before we value life. Yeah, and we don't have to also lose our loved ones. If we can tell everybody, if we can inform anybody, inform everybody to please stay safe, stay at home. We don't have to die. My cousin is gone now. I wish I could bring him back. I'm inconsolable. My heart is broken. But please, if you can, stay safe. Stay safe. Please remain at home if you can.
Thanks for being there. This story is coming from River State. When Nkiruka Amakri got married, she and her spouse looked forward to having babies in no time. Tried as they did, nothing happened until 8 years later. It was a miracle. Nkiruka did not give birth to just one, not even twins or triplets. She had 5 babies at once. But sadly, as fate would have it, 2 of the babies did not make it. Ifeoma Obesa will tell us the full story.
Many women, the joy of motherhood is something they look forward to, especially after marriage. While some may be lucky, not waiting for a child, the same cannot be said of others whose journey to motherhood has not been easy. These are, however, beautiful times for Mr. and Mrs. Asiyemia Amakri, who recently became parents after 8 years of marriage. Mother of the babies expressed gratitude to God for the rare gifts, saying her waiting for 8 years did not end in vain. She said it was not easy to have 5 children at once, just as she praised her husband for standing by her.
I am a fulfilled woman. I feel happy, fulfilled, because it's the prayer of every woman. At the time we started praying, whenever they will come, or God will remember us. As a person, I didn't want it one again because of the delay. So we started praying that the years wasted, and God will just, but to God be the glory that He didn't just bless us, He compressed the blessings.
Father of the quintuplets, Mr. Asiyemia Amakri was overwhelmed with joy.
He has done great things. He has done great things. God has done great things. Join me and bless His home. God has done great things. 8.5 years praying and asking God, seeking the face of God, was not 8 weeks, it's not 8 months, 8.5 years. That conception. And God gave us a compressed blessing.
The medical director of Meridian Hospital, Dr. Ike Odo, where the quintuplets were delivered, noted that experienced gynecologists and pediatricians manage the woman from pregnancy to delivery.
Weight of a child less than 2.5 is considered not good enough. So eventually we set out with our team of pediatricians, neonatologists. We fought, struggled, and at the end of the day, the 2 children of 0.6 and 0.79 kg did not make it. But as I speak to you, to the glory of God, we have the children with 1.1 kilogram, 1.2 kilogram, and 1.4 kilogram at birth surviving and in good state.
The 3 surviving ones, named David, Daniel, and Deborah, are all doing well.
Part of what happened to 2 of the babies, congratulations to the couple. To crime now, a mother recently murdered her baby in Lagos, an incident that has left many shocked and angry. Annie Daniels reports that the woman boldly stated that she had no regrets for committing a capital crime.
22-year-old Oluwafumi Lola until Monday, the 11th of May 2020, was a free lady, but today she is in the custody of the Nigerian police for a murder case.
I killed my daughter.
Fumilola informed me that the father of her 22-month-old baby absconded after finding out that she was pregnant for him. Her dream was to be a successful lawyer. However, the arrival of the baby shattered her dreams, with only her senior sister rendering assistance to her and the baby.
I had friends before the pregnancy, but during the pregnancy, I lost most of my contact. So my mom went missing since 2012. Then my dad is really sick now.
Fumilola's plan to kill her baby was a well-orchestrated one.
So there was a big bucket of water, a blue color. So first I decided to put her leg inside so she was able to get out of the water. Second time too, she was able to get out. So I add more water to it. And I put her again, she was able to get out. So I put her head upside down inside the water. Then when I brought her out, she was still breathing. So like 3 times I did it.
Those 3 times you did that, didn't you have human feelings? You didn't feel anything for her?
I didn't feel anything at all. I should not lie, I didn't feel anything.
I was startled at young Fumilola's confession and couldn't help but ask if she knew the gravity of her offense.
I know it's either life or death penalty, so I've accepted my fate.
But there are sites online that'll tell you like how to kill somebody, how to commit suicide. Do you go through those sites?
That was what gave me a hint. It was before I do strangle her, use a big pillow to cover her face. So I remember that I had the news of the branch son being drawn inside water. Like, okay, I think water kills faster. I do want to kill myself too, because if you check my diary, it was about death.
Oluwafumilola confessed that after confirming her baby was dead, she laid her on the bed, covered her with a white cloth, and turned herself over to the police. The police attested to her confessions.
There is a note beside the corpse of the little girl, dropped by the mother, that she actually killed her. She was not feeling sorry for what she has done. She felt that that is the best thing she could do at that moment, because she got admission only for that to be truncated because of the pregnancy. And whenever she looks at the baby, she gets more annoyed. And she felt the best thing to do to go on with her life is to take the life of the baby.
Lagos State Police Public Relations Officer Bala Elkanah says the law must take its course.
First, also part of the investigation is to check her mental wellness to find out whether she is sane or she has some mental issues at the time of committing that offense.
Though there were options like handing the baby over to close relatives or even taking her to an orphanage, Oluwafumilola chose not to. Elkanah reacts to this.
A young girl or a teenager getting pregnant and the parents and everybody disowning her, that on its own is quite discouraging. It could even lead to a case of suicide. If only family members can lend little support to such individuals, and yes, you are wrong morally or culturally, but they can still give the person a second chance.
I visited the suspect's house but met the gate under lock and key. No sign of human presence.
I don't know about you, but it was really hard listening to her talk about how she murdered her own baby. It was hard. We'll have more updates. I can authoritatively tell you that there is a new development to that story. Let's Next up, there are some heinous crimes that make you want to punch the suspects if you had the chance. The misdeeds on cue are sure to make you clench your fist in anger. The police lineup coming up in a bit has a pastor who allegedly defiled 3 minors, all siblings, a father who put his daughter in the family way, and a couple that colluded to sell their bundle of joy to the highest bidder. These may sound like fictional thrillers, but they happened in Benin City, the Edo State capital. Ifeoma Okafor reports on the police angle.
Old pastor hails from Akwa Ibom and resides in Benin. He confessed to having carnal knowledge of the 3 minors aged 6, 7, and 9 years. There are sisters and members of his church. Also defiled is another member of the church aged 11. According to him, he perpetrates the act in his house under the guise of praying for the children. The ugly act came to limelight when he claimed he got tired and therefore decided to report himself to the general overseer of the church.
I can't tell exactly what pushed me. But I was tempted to do so. My house, not the church. And I reported myself to my GO. The GO called on the police.
Another story rocking the city is that of a 38-year-old artisan from Delta State. He's in police nets for getting intimate with his daughter on several occasions, resulting in pregnancy. The suspect, who claims to have separated from his wife in 2016, lived alone with his daughter.
If use the body touch me, me would have got sleep. Before I could get belly, I'm not even to say if we get belly.
He is to spend the next 10 years in prison following his arraignment in court through an accelerated hearing. The victim, his daughter, is currently in the custody of Edo State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development.
A young girl, she's pregnant. She is just from a totally broken background. What we are going to do is to take care of the young girl. While she is even pregnant, we are going to ensure at the home where she is, she'll be going for skill acquisition.
Also in police net is a couple who sold their day-old baby for the sum of 300,000 naira.
I say baby because of the 300,000. So it all started when I conceived the baby. Then I now travel to Lagos. So when I come back from Lagos now, I don't already get belly that time. My husband say I don't feel deal with belly for years. Say I go back to where for the come. And I thought say no be today I start to the born for you. Now you get this belly. Say no need the belly, rather the child. Say my come and go back.
Newsline crew visited the couple's residence at Ifuwa Street, Upper Sabomba, Benin City. The residents told us what really happened.
A wife put to bed. Then after 30 minutes or so he lost the baby. Say it's a baby girl. So after some time, we heard that. So she started quarreling with somebody the day before yesterday. So I say this story where the baby not die. Now so he go sell the baby for somebody.
I went inside the church. I see the other of my neighbor. He just come. Yeah, he said, you know what happened? I said no. He said, I have my neighbor here. They bring the police went to come and arrest them here.
The police public relations officer Chidi Nwabuzo disclosed that the suspects, though charged to court, are still in police custody because of the partial lockdown that has left the courts closed.
Investigation proved that suspect has actually owned up to the police while on custody here on remand that on the adjournment date of 11th of June 2020, he will plead guilty for the last victim being Christopher.
This is in progress. You do the crime, you best be prepared to do time. That's Newsline this week. I had a great time bringing it, and I hope you had a great time watching. I leave you with this. Be sure to wear your face mask in public. Good night, and God bless Nigeria.